Hello, and welcome to Tales for Life. In each episode of this podcast, we'll explore a folk or fairy tale from a different culture or region and discover the life lessons, values, and morals they offer that we can use today. Join me on the journey through the magical and meaningful world of folk and fairy tales. Hello, story lovers, and welcome to another episode of Tales for Life, the podcast that journeys through life one tale at a time. I'm glad you've joined me for this episode, and I hope you subscribe so that you join me for all the future episodes as well. It's widely accepted that lessons and morals lie in just about every folktale. Heck, this podcast is built on that. But that's not the only reason these tales exist. They entertain, and they amuse. And since it's been a while since I've dedicated an episode to only those tales that make us smile, at least I hope so, this episode does just that. It's an episode I've titled, Always Remember to Smile. Smiling and laughing are great ways to improve our mental and physical health. Really. Multiple studies have been done that show conclusively that smiling and laughing improve our mood, lower our blood pressure, reduce stress, and help our bodies get back to a healthy state of being. Not that our forefathers had these studies to go on, but they obviously knew at least some of this, which is why there's so many folk tales from so many different cultures simply there to make us smile. Many of the funnier folk tales are short ones, so I've put together 3 here for this episode. Each one always brings a smile to my face, and I hope they do the same for you. The first one is one of the younger tales I've put on this podcast, coming in at somewhere around 7 years old. It's a fun one from North America, and is titled The Traveler and the Farmer. A traveler came upon an old farmer hoeing in his field beside the road. The wanderer hailed the countryman, who looked up from his work. "How long will it take me to get to the next town?" asked the stranger. "I can't rightly say," was the farmer's reply. Insulted, the traveler strode off. "About an hour," shouted the farmer after him. "Why didn't you say so when I first asked?" the traveler shouted back. "Because I didn't know how fast you were walking." This next tale exists in multiple forms, but I particularly like this one from England. And while there's definitely a little barb in this tale aimed at the upper class, there's no denying that its silliness speaks to all classes of people. It's titled, Master of All Masters. A girl once went to the fair to hire herself for a servant. At last, a funny-looking old gentleman engaged her and took her home to his house. When she got there, he told her that he had something to teach her, for that in his house he had his own names for things. He said to her, "What will you call me?" "Master or Mister, or whatever you please, sir," says she. He said, "You must call me Master of All Masters." "And what would you call this?" pointing to his bed. "Bed or couch or whatever you please, sir." "No, that's my barnacle." "And what do you call these?" said he, pointing to his pantaloons. "Breeches or trousers or whatever you please, sir." "You must call them squibs and crackers." "And what would you call her?" pointing to the cat. "Cat or kit or whatever you please, sir." "You must call her white-faced simony." "And this now," showing the fire, "what would you call this?" "Fire or flame or whatever you please, sir." "You must call it hot cockalorum." "And what is this?" he went on, pointing to the water. "Water or wet or whatever you please, sir." "No, pondalorum is its name." "And what do you call all this?" asked he as he pointed to the house. "House or cottage or whatever you please, sir." "You must call it High Topper Mountain." That very night, the servant woke her master up in a fright and said, "Master of all masters, get out of your barnacle and put on your squibs and crackers, for white-faced Simony has got a spark of hot cockalorum on its tail, and unless you get some pondalorum, High Topper Mountain will be all on hot cockalorum." That's all. If you follow this podcast for any length of time, you've probably heard me talk about Nasreddin Hodja, the trickster, hero, and sometimes butt of funny tales from Turkey and, indeed, across many Muslim parts of the Middle East. I can't really consider an episode of Funny Tales complete without one of his. So here it is. It's titled, The Older Wife. Nasreddin Hodja had 2 wives, one much older than the other. "Which of us do you love the most?" asked the older wife one day. "I love you both the same," answered Nasreddin wisely. Not satisfied with this answer, the older wife continued, "If the 2 of us wives fell out of a boat, which one of us would you rescue first?" "Well," replied Nasreddin, "you can swim a little, can't you?" We've wandered through 3 tales today, each one reminding us of the joy that comes when humor sneaks into everyday life. From the farmer's clever timing, to the topsy-turvy world of Master of all masters, to Nasreddin Hodja's sly wit, these stories show us that laughter has always been part of how people make sense of the world. Folktales don't just teach lessons. They invite us to smile at human quirks, to chuckle at absurdity, and to recognize ourselves in the silliness of others. These tales remind us not to take ourselves too seriously. And honestly, that's the fun of it. Smiles and chuckles aren't just good for our health, they make the day feel lighter, more connected, more human. Think about how contagious laughter can be. One person starts, and suddenly the whole room feels different. These tales carry that same energy, the kind that lingers even after the punchline. So as you head into your week, keep those smiles handy. Let yourself laugh at the small stuff, share a grin with someone who needs it, and enjoy the way humor sneaks into everyday life. If these stories gave you even one good laugh, carry that with you, because a little joy goes a long way. Until next time, keep smiling, keep laughing, and keep listening. We'll see you next time on Tales for Life.